Level 01. Battery acid. The absolute destroyer. You're working on your car battery and a single drop of the fluid inside splashes onto your hand. Within seconds, your skin starts burning. Not the kind of burn you get from a hot stove, but something far more sinister. The acid is literally dissolving your flesh, breaking down the proteins that hold your cells together, layer by layer. This is battery acid territory, sitting at a pH of around 0.5. At this level, we're talking about concentrated sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid used in industrial settings. The damage happens almost instantaneously. Your skin turns white, then red, then begins to blister and char. If you were unfortunate enough to swallow even a tiny amount, it would burn through your esophagus and stomach lining like a hot knife through butter. We're talking about perforation, internal bleeding, and potential death within hours. But the twist is, your stomach produces acid almost this strong. Stomach acid sits at around pH 1.5 to 2, which is only slightly less acidic than battery acid. The only reason you're not digesting yourself right now is because your stomach is lined with a thick layer of protective mucus that constantly regenerates. It's like having a force field inside your body working 24/7 to keep you alive. Level 2 to 3. The sour power zone. Let's move up the scale to pH 2 to 3, where things get interesting because this is where food enters the picture. Grab a lemon and squeeze it into your mouth. That intense, face-scrunching sourness? That's citric acid at pH 2. Your taste buds are literally detecting danger signals, telling you that something very acidic just entered your system. At this level, the acid won't burn through your skin like battery acid, but it'll definitely make its presence known. Ever gotten lemon juice in a paper cut? That's because the acid is penetrating the exposed tissue and irritating nerve endings. Now imagine that happening inside your esophagus every day. That's exactly what happens to people with acid reflux. Their stomach acid, which should stay in the stomach, creeps up into the esophagus where there's no protective lining. Over time, this causes inflammation, scarring, and can even lead to esophageal cancer. Vinegar lives here too at pH 2.5, along with your favorite cola drinks. That fizzy Coke you're sipping? It's almost as acidic as vinegar. In fact, there's an old experiment where people leave a tooth in a glass of cola overnight. And by morning, the tooth has started to dissolve. This isn't a myth. It's actual science showing how these drinks can erode your tooth enamel over time. Level 4 to 5. The daily acid encounter. Every morning, millions of people pour themselves a cup of coffee without realizing they're drinking something with a pH of around 5. It's acidic enough to cause problems, but mild enough that we've built our entire morning routines around it. Coffee's acidity is why it can trigger heartburn, especially on an empty stomach. The acid stimulates your stomach to produce even more acid, creating this cascade effect that can leave you reaching for antacids by noon. Tomatoes sit here at pH 4.5, which explains why tomato sauce gives some people heartburn. Beer also hangs out in the pH 4 to 5 range, which is one reason why drinking on an empty stomach feels so rough. Your body is getting hit with acidity without any food to buffer it. But the really concerning stuff at this level isn't what we eat. It's what falls from the sky. Acid rain caused by industrial pollution typically has a pH between 4 and 5. Normal rain is slightly acidic at pH 5.6, but when sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides from factories mix with atmospheric moisture, it creates sulfuric and nitric acid. This rain slowly eats away at buildings, kills fish in lakes, and damages forests. When it touches your skin, you won't feel anything immediately, but over time, swimming in acidified lakes or being exposed to acid rain can cause skin irritation and respiratory problems. Level 6. The gentle acid. Here we find milk at pH 6.5 and urine at around pH 6. Your body is constantly regulating pH levels through your kidneys, which is why urine exists in this slightly acidic range. It's your body's way of dumping excess acids and maintaining that crucial balance. When your urine becomes too acidic, you're at risk for kidney stones. Those painful crystals that form in your kidneys? They often develop when your urine pH drops too low, allowing minerals to crystallize instead of staying dissolved. Healthy human skin also lives at around pH 5.5 to 6, which is slightly acidic. This acid mantle is actually your first line of defense against bacteria and fungi. Many harmful microorganisms can't survive in this acidic environment. This is why using harsh soaps with high pH levels can disrupt your skin's natural protective barrier, leading to dryness, irritation, and increased susceptibility to infections. Level 7. Perfect neutrality. Pure water sits right at pH 7, the perfect middle ground between acidic and alkaline. Your blood also hovers incredibly close to this at pH 7.35 to 7.45. This narrow range is absolutely critical. If your blood pH drops to 7.2, you're in acidosis. If it rises to 7.6, you're in alkalosis. Both conditions can be fatal. Your body works incredibly hard to maintain this balance, using your lungs to blow off carbon dioxide, an acid, and your kidneys to filter out excess acids or bases. When you're breathing normally, you're actually regulating your blood pH. Hyperventilate, and you blow off too much carbon dioxide, making your blood more alkaline. This is why people who hyperventilate during panic attacks sometimes feel dizzy or get tingling in their fingers. Their blood pH has shifted just slightly, but enough to cause symptoms. Level 8 to 9. The alkaline shift. Seawater sits at pH 8, slightly alkaline, which is why ocean swimming feels different from pool swimming. Your eyes might sting a bit, but nothing compared to the burn of chlorinated pool water. Baking soda dissolved in water reaches pH 9, which is why it's so effective at neutralizing acid. When you have heartburn and take an antacid, you're essentially using this pH 8-9 range to neutralize your pH 2 stomach acid. At this level, alkalinity starts to feel slippery. Ever noticed how soap feels slick on your hands? That's because soap typically has a pH of 9 to 10. The alkalinity is actually starting to break down the oils and proteins on your skin surface, which is how soap cleans but also why it can dry out your skin. Level 10-11. The harsh alkaline zone, milk of magnesia, that chalky antacid your grandparents swear by, sits at pH 10.5. At this level, alkalinity becomes irritating to tissues. Household ammonia cleaner reaches pH 11, and this is where things get dangerous. If you've ever cleaned with ammonia without gloves, you know that slippery, almost slimy feeling. That's the alkaline solution breaking down the proteins in your skin. Prolonged exposure causes chemical burns, just like strong acids, but they feel different. Instead of that immediate searing pain, alkaline burns often feel soapy and slippery before the real damage sets in. The fumes from ammonia at this pH level can also burn your respiratory tract. Inhaling these vapors irritates the mucous membranes in your nose, throat, and lungs, causing coughing, burning sensations, and potentially serious respiratory damage with prolonged exposure. Level 12 to 13. The industrial danger zone lime, calcium hydroxide, used in construction, hits pH 12. When mixed with water, it creates an intensely alkaline solution that can cause severe chemical burns. Construction workers who handle wet concrete are at constant risk because concrete is highly alkaline. Without proper protection, the alkaline mixture seeps through gloves and boots, causing burns that people often don't notice until hours later because alkaline burns don't hurt immediately like acid burns do. Bleach lives at pH 12.5, and this is why cleaning with bleach requires ventilation and gloves. The alkalinity doesn't just kill bacteria, it destroys organic matter by breaking down proteins and nucleic acids. When it touches your skin, it's doing the same thing, just more slowly. Mix bleach with an acid like vinegar, and you create chlorine gas, a weapon used in World War I that can be fatal in high concentrations. Level 14. The ultimate base. At the extreme end, we find sodium hydroxide, commonly known as lye, at pH 14. This substance is so alkaline that it's used to dissolve organic matter. Drain cleaners use lye because it literally liquefies hair, grease, and other organic clogs. If this touches your skin, it causes immediate, severe chemical burns that penetrate deep into tissue. Splash it in your eyes, and you're looking at potential blindness. Swallow it, and it causes catastrophic damage to your mouth, throat, and digestive system, often worse than strong acid because alkaline burns continue to damage tissue even after exposure stops. The truly terrifying thing about extreme alkalinity is that it turns your own fats into soap through a process called saponification. Your body's lipids react with the strong base, creating a soapy mess while destroying cellular structures. This is why lye burns are often more damaging than acid burns.